One. All right, guys, welcome to Cooking with CJ. We're going to give it a couple minutes to let people. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Hopefully that was during the commercials at the beginning. Rookie mistake, had my thing unmuted. All right. So this is not a hot seat, guys. This is more a roundtable with creators to talk about things that affect creators, and whether it's now, down the road, how can we help each other grow? And I don't mean sub for sub. I mean, like, how do we make better products to put out there to the world? All right. So that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. We'll be talking about how you set up your videos, produce your videos, how you leverage social media, how do you prepare yourself in case something goes viral or your big break or Food Network comes a calling, whatever. We'll talk about sponsorships, product reviews, and part-time YouTubers trying to just make a little extra money on the side, whatever. We're going to try to hit every level of YouTubers and what their ideas are. So let's get going. All right. I'm not going to shout out people in the chat. If you're here, you know I love you. I appreciate you being here. Do yourself a favor. Share this on your social media. Let's get a lot of people in here because there's going to be a lot of great information tonight. First off, I'm going to introduce, obviously, you know, everybody knows my co-host, Daddy Dutch, Kent. He will be taking the questions in the chat, just as always on our lives, but he'll take the questions for our guys here. I will be the host, moderator, facilitator tonight. I'll jump in as much as I can if I have anything interesting to say. But tonight we're going to get a lot of our content from Steve from Not Another Cookie Show and Mark from Sauce Stache, two great producers of YouTube videos. We talked about having this roundtable. We've done this before when we were on Thanksgiving. I didn't have a guest set up. We just had people come on and talk about, you know, things that affect YouTube and YouTube creators and so on. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Please put your questions in there if you have them, and let's get going. All right. So, gentlemen, welcome. I appreciate you guys coming on tonight.
Excited to be here. Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, this is going to be a great time for sure. I think we got a lot of stuff to say. I think we got some.
I hope the game isn't distracting people.
I know, isn't it? It's well, here. Before we get started, Kent, you want to give an update on the score?
Yeah, let's keep perpetual scores to keep people engaged.
Well, we have a play under review. It appears Edelman muffed a punt, and Kansas City picked it up, ran it down. If it stands, it's going to be 21-17 Kansas City, but I'm not sure he touched it or not. So
they came back.
I will give you updates as they come available.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, guys, keep it coming.
Focus.
How much time is left?
Don't know. We're in commercial. 8:35 in the fourth quarter. As it stands right now, it's 17-14 New England. And hold on. I think it actually touches his thumb on the way by. I think this might be a Chiefs touchdown.
I love how this is.
Sorry, I'm a little busy.
How we're turning our roundtable on creators into football highlights. So
this is hysterical.
You asked.
I asked, but you know, we want to give the people what they want, right, guys? So, Steve, is this a thing where you want the Pats to lose because you're a Giants fan?
Oh, right now I'm all about this young kid, Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahoney. Yeah.
Drew Brees is out. I wanted Brees to win. You know, I never want to see Brady win. So obviously,
Amen to that.
And this kid's story is pretty amazing. So I think he deserves it if he can pull this one off.
Right on. All right. Let's see here. I want to be able to just make this as organic and flowing as possible. So I really do. Excuse me. Sorry. I really do hope that we have participation from the chat. If we can, we'll bring people on, but I need you to have Google Hangouts loaded on whatever you're going to use, and I need you to have a Facebook Messenger and be one of my friends. Okay, that way I can send you the link. I don't want to put the Hangout link in the chat because inevitably we'll get more people than we really need or want on it at the same time.
We getting
But
video call-ins?
Oh, that touch.
Yeah, right. That'd be cool. So let's get going. Did it count? I have the game on in the other room, and I can hear a crowd freaking out. Kid,
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Nice.
New England ball, call overturned.
Oh,
They
snap.
say it didn't touch him.
Pat's ball. All right. Okay. Back to the realness here. All right. So we're gonna start off by talking about the approach to producing your videos. We all have our different ways of doing things. For instance, I'm pretty, I get a inspiration during the week, and then I'll shoot something for my Wednesday video, and then at some point I'll shoot something for my Sunday video. Sometimes I try to do 2 or 3 in a day. Sometimes I don't. Let's just kind of go off of I'm a little less I don't really have a whole big approach to it. I don't time block. I don't script much. I have an idea, hope it works, fix it in the editing room if I need to. So let's I want to hear what Steve talk about your approach to producing videos.
So when I set out to make this show, I sort of looked at it from the perspective of like, what would like a real TV cooking show look like if it was made like uniquely for YouTube? And so like, what does that mean? It means like YouTube is a little less polished. It's real people. It's more of like this real life sort of look at the world. And what I saw on TV was very much this polished sort of perfect world. Everything is about a personality and they're always smiling, and it just felt so like cringeworthy. And so like what I wanted to do was create something that was like a serious show, one that had a format, one that like when people watched it, they knew exactly what they were going to expect, and just make it a little bit more real, like make the food the focus, have me in there, but not like too much of me. Like I don't really like hearing myself talk so much. So I try to balance it. I want lots of visuals because at the end of the day, I'm a super visual learner. And the only things that I liked were cookbooks that had lots of pictures to them, or watching how people made stuff. Everything was always visual for me, so I wanted the show to be overly visual in a way that I guess you would only see in like a chef's table, that sort of thing, like those documentaries, very cinematic and all of that kind of stuff. And I wanted the show to be a something where I actually taught people the ropes for cooking. So like I came from a background where I was a home cook, then I became this professional kind of like chef kind of thing, and then I became a home cook again. So I have this weird perspective of seeing it from both worlds, and I know that there's so much good information that sits inside of a restaurant's kitchen or a chef's kitchen that the home chef doesn't have access to a lot. And so I was like, what if I can just be this middleman, right? Like I spent all these years like making recipes for brands and then shooting them and then giving them as content, and like just trying to think of things from a business perspective, approaching it like a regular consumer, and like how do those two entities speak to each other. And so for me, it was like, how do you communicate recipes in a way that people might actually understand and feel like after watching it or reading it that they are more like capable of producing it than they just somebody who just was sort of like half-assed, wrote a recipe and just posted it as sort of like doing their thing. So like there was a very particular way of I wanted to do things, and like even now I have this this board that I try and map out at least 2 months worth of videos, and it's sort of like a set list. Like I have ideas here, and then I have a schedule, and I'm always erasing, rearranging. Like the time of year, like Super Bowl is coming, so I want to do this whole thing about a few Super Bowl dishes, and then I want to lighten it up. So it's like I'm approaching it almost like it's a restaurant menu or a set list, but I like it's always changing. Like I'll set what the next 2 months are, and then rearrange it based off of things that are happening. And so I'm just always trying to approach it as serious as any producer of any TV show would produce anything that they're working on. And I think just by thinking in that sense, it sort of helps me set a certain bar for myself that like I'll, you know, I by none, my videos are so far from perfect. Like I'd be the first one to be able to sit down with you and be like, I screwed that one up. I could have done this better, all that. But like for the time I'm given, like I'm trying to create the best possible thing that I can do in the time that's given. And every video after that, I'm trying to just push it just a little bit more. If you're producing 80 to 100 videos a year, if you can incrementally improve every single video, then the difference from when you started to where you are now is just huge. And for me, I didn't have a format for my videos when I was starting. I just started, and over time it formulated itself, and I figured out things that I liked. Things just happened by accident that became parts of the show, and I just sort of keep it going. And like now I think about, now that I have this thing that has momentum and is rolling, I have other ideas about like how do I have like a little docu-series that runs alongside my show. So like I have this deli near me, and it's these two guys from Italy, just these two guys, and maybe like there's a woman in the back, I think, making chicken cutlets. But one of them is cross-eyed, and they're the two funniest ball-breaking guys ever, and they make the best sandwich I've ever had. And like I just want to like go there and like tell that story of like people who are like interesting and funny and whose food I sort of connect with, and like make that its own thing. And then so like I'm thinking, how do I build out my channel and to be like its own food network? And like whatever I want to do, which is the freedom that we have on YouTube, like I can explore and see if it's possible. And so like I'm just in this position where I'm approaching it like, for me, anybody can watch all of our videos if you're on YouTube on TV. So technically you're on TV. So if that doesn't like give you this sense of feeling that like some people are at home sitting in their living rooms watching your videos, no matter how small or large your channel is, like that, at least for me, it gives me this sense of responsibility. Like, man, does my video look good on the TV? Like my head starts thinking about all these variables of this world that we live in, and like, how do I just make it a little better? Or like, is the sound good? Or all these things go through my mind, and I'm just constantly thinking about like, what skills can I learn to help me do these things better? Like I'm a one-man show. So like as a one-man show, and as like many of you guys are, for me, with the key to that is like, all right, what are the components of a one-man show? It's like, is it creative director, a prop stylist, all these things? And like, how do you fill those roles yourself in a way that doesn't kill you? And so that's sort of like my daily processes. I just sort of approach it in as serious of a way as I can. And for me, this is a business, and I try and treat it as such. And I think by doing so, it propels you, it elevates you, and keeps pushing you to do it. And I think that if for somebody who's just like on the fence about whether they should like take it serious or not, or whether it's just a side thing, it's like, that's great. Or whether you want to really go all in, it's like, I think there's a real path to doing it, even as hard as it is today. But I think a lot of it helps by like taking that serious approach to it, and approaching it just like any day job would, or any side gig you do, and just taking it serious and seeing how how far can you really push this idea that you have? Like, if you have a channel and you're posting videos, like, what could you do a little bit more to make it like more serious if that's what you want? I think you just have to be like self-reflecting and ask yourself, is this something you want to do? And if it is, then you should always be asking yourself, then am I doing this right? Can I be doing it better? What am I not? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of doing that and constantly working and learning is just a big part of the process.
All right, cool. Steve, I'll let you take a breath real quick. There was a question in the chat that someone wasn't familiar with you. Guys, both of Steve is from Not Another Cooking Show, and Mark is Sauce Stache. Okay, they're both full-time YouTubers. They do this for a living. This is their income. This is their passion too. It's what they do. So this is some good information. Whether you're trying to be big, don't be big. Do this for a hobby. Don't do it for a hobby. You want to make good product out there. You want to have people come back. Everybody's in this to at least get subscribers and have some fun with it, have the interaction. Some people want to make money off of it. Some people want to do it as a full-time gig. Some people are having fun. But even if you're having fun, you still want to put out a good product because no one likes to get that thumbs down, right? So just kind of roll with that. Take this information in. Use it, don't use it, but I think this is going to be very helpful to a lot of the creators out there. So like, let's really feel this. All right. These are two people that do amazing work on their channels. Editing spot on. The food is spot on. The personalities work well. So this is stuff you guys want to learn. All right. Mark, let's talk about your approach to producing a video, your step-by-step through the week and how you do your thing.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, man. So, it's funny. So Steve said a lot of really good stuff, but I started out as an overhead, I was trying to make like tasty recipe videos, that's why I'm called Sauce Stache. I was just doing sauce recipes. And I did that for, probably 7-8 months, I think. Until I ran into another full-time YouTuber, and they told me that they saw the videos and they're like, oh, your editing's good, you're on point there, but realistically, you have to add a personality to it. Your videos need something else. The sauce recipes, they're going to get shared all over Facebook, but as far as being a YouTuber and growing, you have to add a personality to it. So that's when I jumped on. I put a camera in front of me and started recording what I called lunch break at the time. And it was really funny. I would come home from work. I lived a few minutes away from where I used to work, and I would drive home real fast, and I was dressed, real nice. And I tried to make this recipe in an hour, shoot the video, put everything together in 1 hour, and things would always be a mess. It would be kind of a nightmare. And I would get the recipe done. I would take a bite, and then I would fly off to work. And I used to call it lunch break. And that kind of built the channel up a little bit. And from there, I just decided that I wanted to make a real thing. I wanted a legit thing. I wasn't happy with my background. I wasn't happy with the production quality. I wasn't happy with my sound. And I knew all of those things would make a difference. I don't like watching videos when there's bad sound. I don't like watching videos when there's bad video quality. And not everybody's like that. And by bad video quality, I don't necessarily mean like you could shoot a video on a cell phone, no problem. But if there's no movement, there's no story, it's just this thing that's happening, I don't like to see that. And I didn't want my videos to be that. So I really took a step back, took a look at what I was producing, and really tried to build it into something that was entertaining. And it's taken, I still don't know. Today I released a video which is completely new editing. It's a new series. And like Steve talked about it, where we both kind of build series. When I started, I called that season 1. My next thing was season 2. Right now I'm on season 3. And now today's step is kind of pushing me into what I'm going to eventually call season 4. And that's my own thing. I don't title it that way. I don't say anything. I don't really tell anybody outside of it. It's just in my own head for me to progress. And what I did today was I started building more story, more elements to drive people through the video. And now from this point, I'm going to work on that specific piece, and I'm going to keep building that until I feel like I've done it really well. And Steve was talking about a few things about. I don't feel like I'm as on track as Steve was. He started with this perfect thing and went all the way through. But like I think for me, it was just to kind of just narrow it down. It was just always trying to be better. Like I always wanted every video to be a little bit better than the previous video. And I would focus on a few things that I was working on at that time until I got those done really well. Specific camera movements, intros, finding ways to get people to stay in the beginning of the video and get them to stay a little bit longer, trying new endings out, just really watching analytics and seeing like, people don't care about me eating the food and sitting there talking about how good it is for 3 minutes. So I just figured out a way to end it naturally. I guess really the way that I look at it is just always trying something new, always approaching something new to work on and make better, and really just make a better video every single time. I think that's pretty much my approach to production. Now, as far as like I go through, since I do a lot of like trending topics, I don't have like a recipe or any sort of list of ideas. I have my notes where when I see something that's like hitting at the moment, I go through Instagram, I go through Pinterest, I go Pop Sugar, all the news sites, and see, is there some weird thing that's being made? Is there some new recipe that's kind of hitting on a few different websites? On Instagram, you can just search hashtag food and just scroll through all the pictures. Oh, there's long French fries. There's long French fries again. And you start seeing dozens of people posting pictures of long French fries. Well, that's the thing that people are going to be searching for. They're going to search for, how do you make these long French fries? Where these long French fries come from? So once I find that thing, that's when I jump on that video. I research it. I dial down exactly what I'm going to do. And I just start filming a video. Now I shoot twice a week, and then I edit and then do the business of Sauce Stache the rest of the week. Sometimes, like today's video, that took me 3 days to shoot. Then I kind of planned it out that way. I wanted to have time in between because I wanted to be able to figure out the next movement. I didn't know where it was going to end. I didn't know if that video was going to be 6 days or 7 days, but I knew I wanted to get it out by today. So I was struggling on the edit to get that thing done because I didn't get it done until yesterday. I think it was yesterday afternoon is when I finally got the last shot. But in between, I was shot the first day, pulled all that footage down, started editing it out. Shot the second day, pulled all that footage in, started editing it out. So it was 3 days of 14, 15-hour days probably until I got it done today,
Just to make Fruity Pebbles, huh?
Just to make Fruity Pebbles.
I can't believe you individually.
Oh,
I know. I watched that thing. I was like, oh my God, I would kill myself.
it still wasn't as bad as the hand-pulled noodles. That was the worst thing. My hands hurt for days after that video, but the Fruity Pebbles comes in a close second to being one of the worst things that I've tried.
Nice.
Man,
Yeah.
I can't believe you even attempted it, but you did a really good job.
Thanks, man. Thanks. That was one thing. If you look online right now, Fruity Pebbles are everywhere. People are making Fruity Pebbles cakes, Fruity Pebbles donuts. It's the topping for tacos. I mean, people are literally using it everywhere. So nobody's showing how to make Fruity Pebbles. It's one of those hopes, one of those thoughts that could be the video that breaks.
Well, you find a way to take these things that are trendy in the world and on Instagram and then make this video of like a behind the scenes of it. That I think is the reason what's some of your most viewed videos?
Some of my most viewed videos are mochi, things like that. But like the ones that
500,000 views, right?
No, I think I'm at like 200,000 on a few of them.
200,000 views, yeah. But that's the thing is like you have a way of creeping on these trends that like really something hits. Like a lot of your videos do that, and I think that's an interesting approach. You kind of give the behind the scenes of like these really trendy products that everybody's going out and spending money sort of doing. And like what I like about you is sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
And you show the failures as much as you do the successes.
Yeah, and it's a lot of times it's really neat to watch food trends, because they'll hit in restaurants around the coast. They'll hit in the West Coast, they'll hit in California, and they'll be in California for 6 months. People are posting Instagram pictures about them, but nobody on the East Coast has heard about them yet.
Yeah.
And it's weird to watch how that happens. And sometimes it's the same thing. It'll hit on the East Coast. There'll be this huge trend happening on the East Coast. People are eating this thing forever, and then it just starts this wave across the country. So my concept is, if I can jump in before that wave starts, well, so I don't want to give anything away, but like I did, let's see, what video is it? The stretchy ice cream a few months ago. And then recently, Threadbanger, just a few weeks ago, I don't know if you guys know Threadbanger, but they're huge, millions of subscribers. They just released their stretchy ice cream video, which gave my video a little curve. I'm not always looking for putting out a video and getting 1,000 views or 5,000 views or 10,000 views right away. I'm looking for putting out a video and in a year it just hits. And that's what happened with my Alley Go. I put that video out and it was 6 months of just floating at around a few, 50, 20, 100 views every single day. And then all of a sudden, I can't even think what channel it was. It was one of the big, like Delish or Bon Appetit. They put out their Alley Go video and it started trending on Instagram. And then that video started hitting around 60 to 80,000 views every single day. I mean, that got me thousands of subscribers,
Yeah.
And it's finding those trends. It's finding those topics early on. And not everybody has to do that, but to grow, you do have to develop some sort of plan. Like Steve, like you follow the seasons, you follow the patterns of, like what you said, a restaurant.
Yeah.
If you're
I do what you do, except I don't hop on like trendy trends. I hop on seasonal trends. So I'm hoping that the videos that I'm making at the time you're searching, right? And like I'm also like creating evergreen content, so it is going to live there, and it doesn't really matter what time of year it is, but like I'm trying to have the time of year help me as much as I can, give me whatever boost it can. And it really helped in Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I made a month. My approach to the holidays were like, I'm a big holiday fan. I was like, I want my show to just feel like a holiday wonderland for the 2 months of November and December, and just really jump on it. And I saw my views in November were huge for Thanksgiving, but they died in December, which I didn't really understand. But like, it was still this idea of like, okay, play into what you think people are probably searching or feeling. Like, it's cold out, so like stews, soups, comfort foods, all of those things are in my head right now. Super Bowl.
Steve, hold up real quick. I feel like I need to have to interrupt you because you get on such a flow, but you use the term called evergreen.
Yeah.
Explain that to the people in the chat. What's the evergreen video?
So an evergreen, what they call evergreen content, is like content that is not topical in any way. It is kind of generalized in such a way that it's always relevant, right? So like when I post a video about how to make a pasta sauce, I know that it could get 1,000 views when I post it, but I'm not really interested in that. Like Mark was saying, like I'm thinking about when I'm 50 years old. Yep. Like what that video is going to be making for me in terms of a revenue, and like at that point scaled out to 80 to 100 videos a year, which I do over the next 30 or 40 years. Like you're talking serious money, whether you're small or not. And if you can just be there and kind of grow over time, like it's just like it's exactly like your savings account or investing your money. Like slowly over time, that's going to build. If you stay in the game and you keep playing and you keep adding more money or videos to that channel and keep feeding it and growing it, like you're going to, if you're young or, if you just started your channel, like you have to have a really long tail approach to this. Like you can't be like frustrated. A lot of people on Instagram will come up and I try and help people produce videos and do their Instagram better whenever I can. And they'll be like, I had a conversation where I give them a few tips and they do it, they implement it on Instagram, and they come back, they're like, nothing's happening, I'm getting worse views. And I'm like, whoa, your approach is just way off. Like, just focus on the craft. Be as good as a craft person, make better videos, study how to make a better photo, like do all these things, and then start worrying about whether you're getting views or not. You know what I mean? You've got to put yourself in such a position to succeed. And yeah, I mean,
no, and that's the thing. It's funny because Steve, we do two different styles, but it's the same exact path. You know, it's the same. You can grow with doing seasonal and evergreen content, or you can grow with hitting topic. Well, they're both topical, but just different styles of topical, you know? So you just kind of have to do, the one thing that I do want to say is you have to do specifically what you want to do. For me, I'm not a chef. I have no chef technical training. I have no culinary training. So my creation, my concept is just simply that I like to try new things. When I see that cool stretchy thing on Instagram, I'm like, man, that sucks. I don't live out in California because that's the only place I can get it. So I have to figure out how to make it,
right.
You know, and that's my thing. That's why I like to do it. You want to teach people food and show them technique and get more people cooking and love food the way that you love food, you know, so that's why you're able to drive people that way.
And I think that's really vitally important too. Is like, if you watch some of my earlier videos, especially the ones when I first started talking, like I wasn't me, right? Like I didn't know how to be in front of a camera and talk in a way that I was comfortable with. And I remember even looking at my earlier videos that I'm talking is like, I hate them so much. It's like what I'm saying I like, but I hate me saying it and how I'm saying it. You know what I mean? And like that sort of got me to a point where I was just so like fed up with it that I was just like, I'm gonna have this laissez-faire attitude towards it, but like I want my message to be so pure and good and clean that like people won't judge me for not smiling in my videos, or you know what I mean? Like I have this weird balance in my videos where like I'm not overly, like I don't look happy.
I feel that sometimes.
I'm not like
I'm more focused on the task at hand as opposed to smiling at the camera.
But like I don't think it comes across as cold or sort of like mean, or like the ways that they sort of tell you whether like you're not smiling and the camera might come off. I'm trying to feel like I have this sort of like quiet enthusiasm and passion in me, and I think it comes through in this not smiling way, and that's just how I am in person. And I tried to cultivate that in such a way that when I put the camera in front of me and I start recording, that I'm totally comfortable. It is like I'm talking to my best friend, and that was important to me because I need to be able to be comfortable doing it if I wanted to take it so seriously. But I also wanted to portray myself in a way that made me feel proud, like I wasn't trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And that's something really important that, especially if you're starting out, I wish like it's just something you really have to flesh out on your own. But you've got to get to a place where you just like feel good about the way that you're showing who you are based off of how you want to portray yourself. And like, the key to YouTube is this authenticity.
Oh,
yeah, we lost him.
Oh, we lost Steve. Well, you know, I mean, he was saying it. The key to YouTube is authenticity.
Sorry.
I mean,
I got a phone call. Sorry.
You got to put it on Do Not Disturb.
All my computers are connected to my phone, and everything's connected. So everything's just shut off.
Oh, you got to work on getting yourself on camera too. I see Robert from Soul Food Cooking. His concept is find a niche, know your demographic, ask why they came to your channel, and give them what they can afford to see. I think that's a fair way of going about it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. I mean, it's you know, it is one thing though, because I will say for the longest time I had people coming to my channel and they would say, you know, because I made aligot, which is a French dish. I understand that's a French dish, and I understand you can actually kind of find it in a lot of French restaurants. It just happened to be a trending thing. But from that, I had a lot of people that were like, well, make this dish from my home country. And it's like, well, let me take a look at it.
Right.
It didn't fit my channel. And for the longest time, and I know this is kind of bad advice, but for the longest time, a lot of people were asking me to make these recipes that just didn't make sense for the path that I really wanted to take it. Now, I might have been able to grow a lot more if I just listened to all those people, but I wouldn't have been doing exactly what I wanted to do and drive down what I wanted in the end,
Do you know how many people told me that, like, am I showing up on camera?
No, we can't see you, buddy.
No, you're just you're an icon.
How do I fix this?
Might need to disconnect and come back.
Yeah, I was gonna say hop off and come back on.
Okay.
What? I kind of just lost my train of thought on there. Well, that's what happens when you get a phone call on there. Steve, a couple of people said they can't hear you very well either, so get the mic a little closer, turn it up if you can. Because
Am I good?
Yeah, I think so. I see that we have a lot more, not a lot more people, but different people come in and still getting kind of questions on like what we're doing here. But this isn't a hot seat. This is more like a roundtable discussion on how to make your channels grow a little bit more, or to help out people different levels of their YouTube, whether they're having fun with it, trying to make money on it, try to grow it, try to get the big break, whatever.
Industry talk.
Yeah, and the shit talk for sure. I saw a couple of people in the chat talking about don't be worried about getting subscribers. And this is what I have to say about subscribers, because my only concern was getting to 1,000 subscribers, because that is where YouTube set the bar, right? And then the 4,000 watch hours. Because personally, I would like to make money on this, right? So that's kind of why we decided to do this. All right.
I think some people. I get what he's saying, and like I agree, but like the way that I view it is like if you want to take YouTube seriously, or if you really want to approach it as an avenue to sort of make some money, or just do something on the side that can kind of bring in some revenue, then you have to look at subscribers as the market. And if they're subscribing to you, then what that means, that should tell you, is that you're doing something good and you should kind of keep pushing it forward. If you're not getting subscribers, that's a good indication to you that you could do something differently to sort of change it. So like, I think subscribers are a good analytic to sort of gauge how well you're doing. But I think when you fixate on it, and like when you don't get more subscribers, or you're like clawing at your phone to sort of see, like, did I get a new subscriber today, or like what, I think that's really unhealthy. But like, I don't think there's anything wrong with like making sure you have subscribers coming in, and like, making sure that you're being validated that you're doing something right, if it's what you're going for.
Yeah. So that's, if you're playing baseball with your buddies and that's what you're doing, and you love baseball and you're playing baseball with your buddies all day long, go play baseball with your buddies. But if you want to be in the major leagues, you have to focus. You focus on the numbers. You pay attention to things. That's your business. You work out, you build, you grow. So don't fixate on subscribers necessarily. Subscribers don't pay you really. You're not going to make any money from getting an extra subscriber. If you're going to have goals, have view goals. Have goals of, I'm going to get 10,000 views this month. Have goals of, I'm going to get 100,000 views this month. Yeah. Set those kind of goals. Don't worry. Get subscribers. Those will come with good videos. So it's the better your video, the more subscribers, the more views you get. And ultimately, the thing to focus on if you want to grow as a business. I think Steve and I are both coming at this as, I knew from the beginning, even when I was making the sauce recipes, I wanted this to be my full-time job somehow. I needed to figure that out. And going through that and figuring that out, you know, it took a lot of effort, but I had to look at it, and I had to look at it as a business. I had to look at how many subscribers am I pulling in? Where are those subscribers coming from? Where am I getting them? Are those subscribers legit? I'm not doing sub for sub. I'm not doing the comments where I'm saying, I like your channel, come check out mine. You know, that you need legit subscribers, legitimate views. Those are the things that bring in money. And if you're doing it for a business, there's no fault in loving what you do and loving your business. I love YouTube. I get a high from it. I mean, it's like a gambling addiction of putting out the video and hoping for the 3 7s to pop up, you know, but it's still a business and I still need to make money off of it. Otherwise I don't live. I don't eat.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, person has sent me a private message asking, you know, what this is all about, or why are we doing this? It isn't about, you know, you two aren't on here bragging. We wanted to get together to help the community, to give tips and tricks on how to grow one way or the other. But that's it. You know, I mean, there's no, we're not trying to be braggadocious on here or like, you know, what these people do. The goal was to have 2 full-time YouTubers that put out great content, share, and help the community grow.
So I'll say this, just no matter where you are in your journey, you're going to feel the exact same way all the way throughout. When you have 100 subscribers, it feels exactly the way you feel when you have 100 subscribers. You're about your videos, about your views, what you're pulling in, what you're getting. It feels the same when you have 1,000, and it feels the same when you have 10,000. You hit that goal of, I just got 1,000 subscribers. This is amazing. Okay. And that's it. That's second. And then you just continually go. And then when your views drop, so when you have, you know, if you're getting 100 views a day and your views go from 100 to 80 views, that hurts. When you're getting 1,000 views a day and your views go from 1,000 to 800, that hurts. So me and Steve are just at different places in the same journey that everybody's on. And, you know, there's these guys out there that have 2 million and 16 million and 50 million subscribers. They started at 0. They went through their journey, and they probably feel the same way about their videos as we do and as anybody else that's below us. And not even like just bragging or anything, but I'm sure that there's other people in this chat that might be bigger than me and Steve. You know, I mean, it's not like in either view numbers or subscriber numbers. So who cares? You know, it's just.
Yeah, my thought process was get to 1,000 subscribers and get my watch hours in. And then, granted, I do look at my subscribers every day, but I look at all my analytics every day. It doesn't define me one way or the other. I just want to see it grow. You know, I want to see my views grow. I want to see my, you know, revenue grow. I want to see all of it grow.
Yeah.
So it's you know, looking at subs every day, it's part of it, but it's not the only thing that's running it, you know?
Yep.
So I know Kent has tons of questions. He's been
watching the game.
He's been watching the game, but he has plenty of questions. All right. So anyway, Kent, go ahead and ask your questions.
All right. Got a fun one for both of you first, just to get stuff started off here. Enzo is the gentleman's name, son of a pizza man. Wants to know what's your favorite pizza toppings, guys?
Pepperoni.
Oh, man, I like mushrooms.
I was going to say, I knew Mark wasn't going to say pepperoni or sausage or.
You know. It had to be the meatiest vegetable of all.
Okay. The easy one to get things started off with for you. Dancia Freestyle Garage wants to know how long was it before you both decided to go full-time YouTube? Mark, I know the answer with you on this, but what he's asking was this a hobby that turned serious or was this in the your end plan? Or elaborate a little bit on that, if you both would, please. Mark, go ahead.
Well, so I always wanted to go full time with it, but I was a IT manager at a local university here, and honestly, I was spending most of the time at my desk editing videos and putting out YouTube stuff. So I knew where I wanted to go, but I got laid off in May, and I wasn't near a full time YouTuber when I got laid off. So it was essentially just I had to make the decision of hustle, figure out what I had to do to make some money. Can you actually make money at this point? Try to grow it to the point while I still had some money, while I still had savings, because it's a business. You have to invest in your business just like any other business. While I still had that money, could I grow the channel enough to make money by the time I ran out of money? And that's what I did. You know, I've been going full time since May. It's always been that plan. It was never the plan to jump into it as early as I did. I'm glad it happened. I'm completely glad it happened.
Steve, how about you?
So I've always been into content. I'm a marketing guy. I studied marketing before I got into food and cameras and stuff like that. So I always understood the value of this whole YouTube thing, but I hated being in front of cameras. And so I went through 10 years, whatever, got to a place where I had a production company where I was making videos for brands in the food world, and just producing good content, giving it to them and hoping that they would do something useful with it and be productive. And I was doing that and realized that this business wasn't working out because these brands didn't know how to market themselves. I could give them the best video or photo or whatever in the world, and it wouldn't work for them, and it would be an inefficient use of their money because they didn't know how to do this social media thing. And so I found myself this time last year, I did not have a cooking show. I didn't have anything on YouTube going on. I had just kind of had an engagement that failed, and I lost a huge client. Ronzoni, the pasta Ronzoni, all of their sort of clients, I was doing work for them. And so I was in a legitimate hole. And so for me, I was sitting there kind of in this depressed state, and I needed to do something. And so this was my radical sort of, all in, I've got nothing to lose sort of effort. So February 11th of last year, I started it, and I was just I'm going to make this as good of a cooking show as I possibly can. I'm going to work on it every day. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to live the life that I always wanted, which is to wake up, make videos, and make this my thing. So I did that, and I think for anybody who thinks that we're sitting up here bragging right now, what I would say to you is this: I live to give people hope that they can do this kind of stuff. And by showing that I was in literally the worst spot of my life not even a year ago, and to be in a place where my life is in a totally different spot, I want to show people that they can do it too. And if somebody in here is on the fence about what they can do or whether they should do it or whatnot, I want this chat to give them the confidence and the encouragement to go do it, not to sit up here and brag about achievements. This is a community in which I want to share what I've learned, things that I wish people told me when I started. This world isn't very forgiving to people who are in smaller channels. I don't want to be a channel that grows bigger and forget to help people who are smaller. I want, even at the size that I'm at, I've learned a ton of things that I feel like I want to share with people, and to have an avenue to do that, that's what I'm going to do. And so whether somebody feels like it's braggadocious or not, that's on them. If you know me, if you know my channel, you know that's not my game. So that's just kind of what I have to say about that.
Right on, right on. All right, Kent, you got a couple. I know you got plenty of questions there. Let's go get a couple more, and then we'll switch topics.
Okay. This is for both of you. This is from Soul Food Cooking. On average, how many uploads do you guys do each week on YouTube?
I think we both do two a week.
Yep. Yeah, 2.
And then I sometimes produce a video for ABC Barbecue, so 2 to 3.
Right.
I did. Some of you guys remember after the whole Dame thing, I did 5 videos a week, and because that's what he told me to do.
That's insane, man.
It was insane, and it wasn't a good idea. I mean, it was a good idea to feed the algorithm, but it didn't grow the channel. It just burnt me out. That's all it did. Produce what you're comfortable with. Produce at least 1 video a week, to help momentum, but just do what you can comfortably do. There's no need to do more than 1 a week. I think Steve and I are just both comfortable with 2, and hopefully maybe one day we can do maybe 3,
I mean, I was doing 1 and just was like, I want to do another one. Like,
yeah, you want to do another one.
I want to do another one. And like, I want to do more now. Like to even further, like my business plan is to get to a place where I can hire some whiz kid editor who just is like mind-blowingly better at editing than I am. I produce like shoot 2 cooking shows a day, and then we get ahead to the point where we could do 5 days a week. Like that's my goal, and then to sponsor each of those videos, and then you just have this machine.
Yep.
BuzzFeed showed us that if you just produce insane amounts of content that look cool and are entertaining and valuable, then that's a formula to get there.
Yeah.
And they have they have an approach of an algorithm and this format and whatnot, and all you have to do is find your different approach, your unique approach to it, and then just ride that track.
Yep.
All right. I got one more quick question. Then I'm going to throw it back to CJ. Keith Betthead and My Chart PH. I have your questions down. We'll get to them here shortly. John from 1984 Barbecue, Steve. He's asking about that knife up there above your right shoulder. Wants to know, is that a meathead knife or?
Yes, it's a meathead knife.
It is. Okay, I thought so.
Yes.
Gotta have the meathead knife.
I'm saving it for camping.
Oh yeah, I want to take mine camping too. That's awesome.
Breaking down like a whole animal.
I have the baby version of that.
Nice. All right, cool.
All right, back to you, boss.
Go ahead and keep putting the questions in, guys. We're coming up on an hour. I don't really want to take this more than 2 hours if we don't have to, but as long as we're flowing and going, we'll just keep going. Next thing I want to talk about is leveraging social media. I know that I have I have 2 Instagrams, I have 2 Facebooks, on Twitter, in a bunch of Facebook groups, so on and so forth. I leverage it as best as I can, but I don't know that I'm doing the right thing. So, Steve, let's start with you. Talk about how you leverage it, benefits of it. You see jump in views, jump in subscribers, opportunities, so on and so forth.
Well, I think for food, it's an opportunity, and it's also kind of like a headache, right? Because food is so visual, and it plays well into social media, but at the same time, the saturation of food content on social media is pretty intense. It's like every single person in the world takes photos of food and posts it onto the internet. So you got an uphill battle going, and so for me, that's why I'm a photographer, right? So I wanted my timeline, which is like the grid, which is what everybody sees, to act as like if a producer or a journalist or somebody who could be a newsmaker or something that can do something for me. Like I want them to come into my page and be like, ooh, I get exactly what this guy does, and I can instantly decide that I want to pursue, like maybe talking to him about a work opportunity or something. So I make sure that all of my photos are done with, you know, artificial light, a nice photo setup. It's why I built a photography studio essentially into my video set, so that I could just have a photo ready to go whenever I want to take that shot. And then I have good thumbnails for my videos. I have content for Instagram feeds. I have a vertical shot, so it fits well into my story. And so, like, I'm thinking about every place that I'm going to post onto social media, every orientation. So on a timeline, it's a square. In a story, it's a, what is it, 6 by 9? I'm so dyslexic. Whatever that landscape, this landscape,
Portrait.
exactly. So you have to have one for that. You have to one that fits the YouTube requirements. You have to have one for Facebook. You know what I mean? So you just have to make sure you've covered your basis, that you have a good shot that fits across all of them. And it's tough. I mean, like on one hand, Instagram's organic reach is becoming like Facebook, right? It's slowly deteriorating. So it's like, do you just post as much content as you can on Instagram and hope that that does something? Or do you try and make it, put a little bit more effort into it to make each one of those shots stand out a little bit more? I don't have the answer, to be honest. Like, I don't know that I'm always doing the best practices in terms of Instagram. I'm sort of just like, it's like my channel. It's like I've come up with a strategy that I think works for me, and I stick with it. And I just think that what's important about Instagram, especially, which is kind of like the biggest social network outside of Facebook, and the one that kind of moves the most, it's just so visual. So you have to really be careful about the photos you're taking. You have to think about lighting. It's just one of those things where it's like another skill that you have to learn is like, how do I produce photos that are Instagram worthy and ones that sort of don't just bleed into the timeline. And so that's sort of where the style of the cutting board came on. It just like, it became this identifiable style that when it comes into your feed, I'm hoping it sticks out. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. It's just like the psychology behind the thumbnail on a YouTube video is insane. Like, there's, if people did A/B testing studies and all, like the amount of difference that a thumbnail could make on a video's performance is insane.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. So like, really, it's really that big. Just having that extra kind of mindset and care to being like, not only is this video going up on YouTube, but like, I got to promote it. I need people to see it. I need consistent views coming into these videos. So how do I do that? And you know, I have this sort of cadence that is like, on a Monday, I've done my photo shoot. I edit the photo and I get my video into editing. But then I edit my photo and I post it to my Instagram and all over social media as like a teaser for the next day's video release. So everyone knows the day before I post a video it's like this specialized shot just for them of the food, this beauty shot. They know what it's going to be about. I use the actual copy in Instagram to write something, to tell a story, to actually add to what's going on, because people are actually reading that. And it does help with engagement if you actually think about it and add something of value. And, you know, I probably hashtag no more than 15 hashtags, and I kind of break them up into things that are like general, like food, foodie, these big hashtags, and then more generalized hashtags that are sort of what the photo or the video is about. And then the following day, after I've done editing, I post this 30-second to a minute video montage, which is basically the opening of my main YouTube videos. And I just cut that off. I edit it into a square, and then I use that as like my main video that is also Instagram content and content around the internet, but it also is like pushed to YouTube. Like, I have a story running. It's my things go. Everything is pushing to YouTube, and it's not like I'm hoping a lot of people do it, but over time, you know, just having that training people to be like, oh, his video came out. Maybe they didn't click through my YouTube story, my Instagram story to YouTube to watch that video, but maybe they just looked it up like 10 minutes later when they would do something else. It's really hard to tell where it's coming from all the time, although the analytics are there, but it's really just training people to get into your schedule, your workflow. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I release a video. So in the Monday through Thursday, I'm in constant promotion mode and production mode and making sure that people are ready and know that a video is coming. And then when it's released, I make sure they know it's released. And I just constantly work that cycle over and over again. And I try and learn new ways of doing it. And I'm trying to use my feed now to show more personal stuff, because I was very anal about keeping my kind of video beauty shot and then video, beauty shot and then video. It's this sort of alternating pattern on my timeline. And I didn't want to screw it up, but I think by adding more like story stuff, it's gonna help my engagement, because I posted this photo with me in it and the story behind it, and the engagement went up. So it's like you got to test things out and see what works for you. But it's just like the YouTube game. You got to constantly be tweaking and checking the stats, seeing what people are doing. Are they viewing it? Did it go down? What's happening? And just being focused and staying in tune with what's going on and just adjusting accordingly.
Right. And I want to talk about the thumbnails. You brought that up real quick. And it's the psychology behind it is insane for sure. But AP kind of was the one that got me fired up about when he said, you got to win the click, right? You got to win the click. You got to get them to go on your video. So at that point, it's kind of when I started taking my thumbnails a little more seriously. And Steve, I've taken a cue from you by using the cutting boards. All of a sudden, I'm a cutting board whore now. Like I've gotten like, dude, it's ridiculous how many cutting boards I have. Okay, hold on real quick. Kent, go ahead.
I don't know why you're a cutting board whore now.
Because Steve made me one. All right.
Okay. 41 all going to overtime.
All right, they're in overtime. All right. So what I was saying is that I started getting the whiteboard behind it and trying to get the right light on it and get the right angles. And I take, a handful of shots and I'm trying to, I'm still not a pro, but I'm definitely doing what it takes to try to win the click, try to put the best looking picture out there for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, one quick point. When I started photography, the only way I learned how to do it is like, I didn't know the camera settings to how to use one of these. I just shot on automatic and I shot in front of a big window. And I was just like, okay, I have decent natural lighting. Let me shoot it from every angle, high, low, side, far, close up, away, side lit, back lit, front lit, every angle. If I took a photo from every angle, I could look at it then in post-production be like, that's the one that looked best. And after I did that long enough, I know what angle looks best, what lighting setup looks best, just from having done it so many times. So it's like, there's no I'm not gifted or anything. Like it's a taught thing in the last 5 years that anybody can learn. It's just like as me, I'm dyslexic. Sometimes you can hear me stutter and talk. It's hard for me to get things out. But for me, visual, my eyes are my clear as day. That's my real strongest sense, I feel like. And so for me, it was just I just used my eyes. I kind of looked for the best angles and used my taste to be what is the best shot? What looks best? And I leaned on that until I got to the point where I learned all the technicalities, and then that's how I became a photographer. And that's how if you want to learn, that's a good way to start.
Right. For sure.
Yeah,
so,
let me
Mark, I still want you to touch on the social media aspect of it, but I think we're on to something with the thumbnails. So
yeah, well, because I'll just go right into it if you don't mind. So thumbnails, I will say this, it is literally almost more important than your video, Because if you don't have a good thumbnail, then the people that are finding that video, they'll never watch it unless they're already your subscriber or they're your friend. Period.
Right.
So when you're doing a thumbnail, you have to imagine that somebody is looking at this thumbnail on their cell phone, and that thumbnail is going to be this big. It's going to be this tiny little thing. So you have to get the detail of that tiny little thing to pop. And if you're putting, today we're making so-and-so thing on this sloppy Joe recipe for this with cheese and onions and green, and you're writing all this on there, no one's going to see it. It's just going to look like a blurry little mess, and nobody clicks on that thing. So thumbnails are extremely important when you're making, and I'm just going to go into actual detail, technicalities of it. Make your thumbnail, shrink it down to thumbnail size on your screen. Shrink it really small. Stand back and say, does that look good? Ask yourself, is somebody else going to click on that thing?
I don't even do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you're right.
Search YouTube, find the video that's like yours, that has 1 million views or 10,000 views or whatever it is, and say, is my thumbnail better than theirs? And if it's not, you're not going to get that click. Nobody's going to be scrolling through clicking, oh, that thumbnail's distorted and blurry and out of focus. That's the one I want to watch.
Mark, I want you to say that one more time. Search, make it better. Say it.
Yeah.
Walk that through again.
Search for the video that's like the one that you're putting out. Find something, even if it's related somehow. Find that video and look at I'm going to also bring this in. Look at their title and look at their thumbnail. And your title and thumbnail has to be better than their title and their thumbnail. Otherwise, when people search for that thing, they're going to click on the better one. Always. Yeah. And to jump into social media, I have a different view of it. Steve just murders it on Instagram, and I really can't wait to do a master class with him.
Every day I look at Steve's stuff. It's one of the first ones on my feed. I want to see what Steve's doing today. I'm very interested in Steve's life.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give you just a real quick percentage-wise. So out of all of my traffic sources, external is 15% of my views. And out of my external views, Facebook is 2%, and Instagram and Twitter don't even show up. So I take the approach with both of them, and I could do better. I know this, but every one of these platforms has algorithms designed specifically to keep you on their platform. YouTube's algorithm is designed so that way when you watch a YouTube video, they try to find another video for you to watch. They don't want you to leave YouTube. Facebook is designed the same way. They build your Facebook feed so that way all external links show up at the very bottom of the feed, or you don't even see them at all. So when you're posting your YouTube video all over the world, all over Facebook, Facebook is actively hiding that from people. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, and people got mad at me in the one cooking group. People were like, who are you to say this? But if you went through the cooking group, you would go through and you would see link, and it was just a bunch of videos. And it was a bunch of videos that didn't have any likes on them. They didn't have any comments on them on Facebook. And that's not the person's fault or the video's fault or the group's fault. It's the fact that Facebook doesn't want to show people those links.
It's true. You have to think of it. Facebook is in direct competition with YouTube.
Yep.
So if you think that they want you going to YouTube from Facebook, you're dead wrong.
You're wrong.
Right in Facebook.
So, where Steve was just talking, and I was just like, boom, he's right. He built an Instagram page based off of winning the platform of food, his food was brighter and fancier than the next person. So when people were searching that out or it came across their feed, it got the like. But they're changing that platform now because Instagram is realizing that people are making money off of this and they want a piece of the pie. So if you're making money off of it, you're going to have to spend some money on ad revenue. Facebook did this a long time ago. So where Steve's right is he's using stories more. He's showing more of his daily life. He's feeding Instagram what Instagram wants. So if you want if you want Facebook to work for you, you have to feed Facebook what it wants. Facebook wants videos natively uploaded to them, not YouTube. And you have to think to yourself really hard. Do you want to be a YouTuber or do you want to be a content creator? And if you want to be a YouTuber, great. Stick on YouTube, upload all your stuff on YouTube. You're not going to get very much traffic. You might in the beginning, but in the long term, in the end of it, you're not going to get very much traffic. Your traffic is going to slowly start coming from other sources. So you have to figure out if you want to be a content creator or just a YouTuber specifically. And if you want to be a content creator, then start creating the content that each one of those platforms wants. And you'll slowly grow. This year, I'm growing Facebook. And once I grow Facebook and really work on that, then my plan is to work on Instagram. And then maybe one day I'll try Twitter. I don't know. But, or even try Twitch or one of those things. It's, you have to try different things, always test out new things. But posting your links in groups and posting your links on different pages, I hate to say this, and I don't want people to get mad at me because I know a lot of people spend a lot of time doing it. It's just not going to work. You're not going to.
Well, here's my thoughts on that real quick. Sorry, let me get this out, Steve, real quick. For me, what I've learned about Facebook and posting links, because I'm guilty of it too. It's me being kind of a little bit lazy, I'm sure too, that I don't want to upload videos to Facebook. I haven't spent a lot of time building it, which I have to do, and I think it's a good platform to do that stuff. But what I've learned over it is if you do 3 pictures to one video link, you can still kind of be in there, and even if that doesn't work, it's a numbers game. You post your link to 20 different groups, you're going to get 5 views off of those. So you're getting 100 views off of Facebook. And that's kind of just my unscientific way of doing it. But what I have noticed is the more niche down it is, like YouTube Cooks or YouTube Cook community group, if I put a link in there, I'm going to get 4 likes. Not a lot of people are checking it out. But if I do it specifically to the Slow and Steer for ABC, I'm getting a lot more views because people are perusing all the way down, right? Or if I do the foodie group, the Ninja Foodie group, I get a lot of subscribers and a lot of views off of that because it's niche down and it's being searched a lot more. Probably maybe less people in the group. I don't know. But those have just been my experience with it. I get completely what you're saying, and I know that it's direct competition. So for me, it's more like a numbers game. The more you get out there, at least you'll get some return on that.
Well, so the way the algorithms work across the platforms that people know is that it's a point system. So yeah, you're right. In the beginning, you'll get 100 views, but the next time you post your video to that same group, it gets degraded. If I like your post, yes, I'm going to see it every time because the algorithm knows that I liked the post.
Right.
But the first time I don't like that post, the algorithm knows, hey, next time CJ posts that thing, I'm not going to show it to Mark, and I'm not going to show it to Mark's friends. So if you do, I post to Facebook, I post videos to Facebook, and I post them, but I'm not posting every video, and I'm not posting it, blasting it across boards. You're better where you said, instead of playing a numbers game and posting it across a ton of boards, finding the one place where it's really going to fit and put it there and get those 50 views. If you're making whatever, for me, the vegan stuff always works. I know you guys don't do a whole lot of vegan stuff, but if I do a vegan thing, I'll find a vegan board to share that to because that vegan board has never seen me before. So the algorithm thinks any one of those people that click on it, they need to share it to all of their friends. So when I share it to that vegan board for the first time, it's looked at better and ranked higher. I don't know if that helps.
No, that makes sense for sure. I'm with you on it, and I'm interested more to see where Facebook goes with monetizing videos. I've heard that a couple of people are being contacted to put videos on there.
Yeah,
add revenue.
So I'm in the Facebook program.
Okay.
It is. So the Facebook program does really well as far as monetization, but the one thing to think about is it's not just your monetization that you get off of, now this is going to kind of go into a different subject, but the monetization that you get on, I see a bunch of people talking about YouTube monetization, and they need to get so far to get to their YouTube monetization. I was there. CJ, you remember just earlier this year when I was doing the 5-hour live stream,
Right.
You make, what I've realized is spending the time to grow the channels and grow your social media accounts, you're going to make more money off of one brand deal on a social media account with lots of engagement than you'll make in 5 months off of any monetization. So if you grow your Facebook page up to 10,000 followers and you're not monetized at all, those 10,000 followers is going to be worth close to $1,000 to a brand. So you're not going to make $1,000 a month from your video monetization, but you'll make $1,000 just by, this is the glass cup today,
All right, cool. Whiskey and Barbecue brought up a point in the chat, so let me pull it up real quick. He says, if you're going to post video on a Facebook group, you also need to be active in that group. As soon as Facebook started giving badges about their posting, you have to stay active to keep your badge up. Have you seen that? I've seen that. I've gotten a couple badges in different channels or different groups, but have you guys seen that yet?
I've just been so bad in Facebook groups these days because it just find it. I'm at a point where it's impossible to manage. Like I have my own Facebook group. I can't even manage. It's a mess.
I know you have your own Facebook group.
Wild West in this group, and sometimes I got to crack the whip and get in there. But like I just like I keep up. I follow a little bit, but like it's just so hard, and I don't post my videos to it. I'm not as engaged as I should be. I'm just sort of like trailing a little bit in that front.
Okay, well, how about this? Mark, your Facebook fan page or group page or whatever, that has grown by leaps and bounds. I thought I saw something like 50,000 people are on there. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm at 50.
How are you leveraging that for anything, whether it's growing YouTube, getting brand deals, getting your sponsorships? How are you leveraging that a huge amount of people following you?
Yeah, it's two separate. That's what I've been saying. It's two separate platforms. I doubt that out of the, I think 17 or 18,000 followers I have on YouTube, I doubt 10% of those people might be over on Facebook. So it's two completely different crowds. And that's why I say build the platform, because when you build the platform, you can leverage those with brands. When I talk to a brand now, I am pulling the numbers for both of them. Originally, when I was doing a lot of these brand deals, and even like today's video is a brand deal, I can't post that on Facebook because they only paid to have that video on YouTube.
Right.
They didn't want to pay what I wanted for the Facebook video. So you leverage it just by the numbers that you're getting. And that's why I say try not to look at the monetization, because the monetization is great on these platforms, and it really is. It's great to get it, and it's a good feeling to get that money in. But to make a living off of monetization, you need 100, 200, 500,000 followers, and you need to be pulling in 1 million views a month to make. And I'm not even close to that.
You know what my approach has been? Because like I don't have the size to leverage when I deal with brands, but I'm leveraging either my video skills or engagement, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
like the key for me is like I want the people who watch my videos to not just comment on my videos, but to comment some very like a thoughtful, kind response that like encourages other people to like say kind things and interact with each other and build this community that when I go to a brand and be like, guys, look, like these guys they downloaded my recipe this many times after I posted it. These guys, they listen to what I have to tell them. And that's an engaged, if I say like, this brand, this knife is great. And I intend on working with brands who I actually believe in, then like there's a trust level there. So when I say it, I want that to mean something to the people that are viewing it. And by telling brands that and having them understand that power, it doesn't matter if you have 1 million views or 1 million subscribers. It's like that, it's going to move the needle. Excuse me. That's going to move the needle. As for somebody like me, I just have to price it appropriately for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, engagement's huge. I mean, that's a huge thing in the brands. If they can look at what you're doing, and that's where these guys can look at Steve easily and see the amount of comments that he's getting, just the amount of likes that he's getting, the amount of shares that he's getting across these platforms. And you can actually measure, it's hard, but these brands do it. They can measure how many people are talking about a specific person. And for Steve, he has so many people that like his stuff. They're sending him pictures of all the food that he cooks. You know, that's worth big money to brands, you know, almost as much as views are, you know. I mean, so it's like,
so I think if I can just keep that going, that's more valuable and that's as valuable to me as like having 20,000 subscribers or 15,000 subscribers. And like, as I grow, that should just compound itself. But like, it also takes a lot of work. Like I have not, and I'm not exaggerating, and maybe I've missed a couple, but like for the most part, I haven't missed a comment in a year. Yeah. I've responded to almost every comment on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook since I started. And so like, and I don't just say, hey, like if you wrote a little bit down, I'm writing a little bit down too. I'm like gonna have a conversation on the internet with you. And I think that goes a huge way. It goes a long way. And it's so like, when I do say, hey, I have a sweatshirt, do you want to buy it? Like people feel a little bit more inclined to actually go through and click and buy the shirt.
Yep.
And so like, I think there's a depth that you have to have. If somebody's watching your videos, you sure as hell better be responding to their comment. And
yeah, I agree with that completely.
And I don't care how big you are. Like I'm going to try and respond to every comment, as no matter how big I get, as long as I can. And even if I can't, I'll just come back at a later time and try and catch up. And I just like, it means a lot to me to be able to do that. The fact that people even come to my page and say these nice things is so humbling that like, it's the least I could do.
So I found out the hard way that you can't respond to every comment on Facebook.
Oh yeah. Well, you're up.
Well, no, so Facebook and it really, it got to me. I was emailing what is going on? One of my videos ended up doing pretty well on Facebook, and it got a lot of comments. And that's the one thing I saw in the chat. Somebody said, like, how do you grow on Facebook? And it's a little bit different than YouTube, because with Facebook, everybody shares the video. It's so easy to share on the video, to share videos, because you just tag somebody's name in the comment. You just,
right.
Steve, look at this. And everybody does that. You don't get a whole lot of shares off of YouTube. If you get maybe 10% of your views or shares, you're doing great. But on Facebook, it's like every other comment is tagging somebody's name. So that's how they grow. But I was responding to every comment on Facebook, and Facebook shut me down for a little bit and said I was spamming Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And on YouTube, you can respond to every comment, no problem. And I do. I respond to every single comment. But on Facebook, you have to kind of watch it. You have to be.
So there's another easy answer to that, which is what I was doing in the beginning. It got me to where I was until Facebook disabled it for me for no good reason, essentially, but is paying for it, not buying ads, or buying followers, but paying for ads and becoming a little bit of an agency. I would spend $15 to $20 a week, to promote my new videos. And what I would do is I would create ads that were catered towards single men, and I would show my video and be like, something along the lines of like, cook for your woman, or like find a date by cooking for them. Something, I crafted a line that was much better than that, but I was like playing into single men who were looking for dates, who wanted to like come up with like a new trick for a girl, whatever. And so I would run these ads. I would target men 24 to 34. And I would like narrow it down to like New York City or whatever. And I'd run ads, and I'd gain 150 new followers a week. And just for like 15 or $20, which is like, people spend that much money on lottery tickets. So I was just investing in my channel, and that's how I approached it. And then I was doing that until they canceled my they canceled my they did disable my ad account because they said it was inappropriate or something. It must have been a mistake, but like I don't know. I haven't been growing as fast since. But that's a foolproof way of doing it.
Yeah, Whiskey and Barbecue brought up another point. You know, if you're going to be a creator, you want to make sure that people realize that you're a real person. So responding, they like that personal connection, and I agree completely. Well, I spend a lot of time answering comments throughout the day. It even gets a little distracting in you know, with the personal life or whatever. You know, like, hold on, I gotta answer a comment. Yeah, you know, why aren't you paying attention to me? I'm answering comments. You know, I want to make sure people know what's up. This kind of that advice about answering the comments kind of leads me into another thought process about YouTube University and creators and like the Sean Cannells and the Nick Nimmons and Brian G. Johnsons. How much time do you guys spend watching that stuff, learning that stuff? Was it helpful in the beginning and now you found your own kind of way of learning? Basically, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Go ahead, Steve.
For me, it was more of that. Like, I mean, I can't tell you, I've spent 10 years watching these people saying how to do things, Gary Vaynerchuk, you know, all those guys. I would watch them. Like, I was just done watching them, and I was very much I was in a point in my life when I was just like, you know, don't even think about anything. Just do your thing. Just let it flow out of you and just do what you feel is good. And of course I watch them, you know, every now and then, but like I found it to become very, like how many times can you make the video, like how to gain more subscribers?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I thought about that the other day, actually.
It's like at some point you like, I can't keep watching it. You know, it's the same stuff. And I've even found like there's ways that I've grown that nobody talks about, like commenting on other major videos, like hoping some hater comes and makes your comment a top comment. That I have data that says I've grown by like 100 people in a night just because I wrote an innocuous comment, totally innocent, and some guy jumped on me, berated me. You know, maybe I said I was Italian in my comment, and some guy goes, you're not Italian, blah, 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 you fake, what, blah. And then all these people hop in, and this, all of a sudden 3,000 people have seen my comment on a tasty video. And, you know, what percentage of those people click through and how many of those liked my channel? So like, that's that's like literally a way that somebody I knew who started a channel after me, it's a financial channel. He's at like 15,000 and he started it after my channel. My channel grew pretty fast. So I was like, how are you growing? He's like, I just comment on other videos. And then I would see his comments on other videos that I would watch, and I would see him get hated on, and I would go in there and like defend him. And I'd be like, bro, like, aren't you getting annoyed? He's like, no, it's cool. And I'm like, I didn't understand what he was doing. And he would just leave these comments, let hate come in, and he'd grow his channel huge. And so I started doing that. And like now I'll watch a video and like I'm in such a habit where like I'll leave a comment, and even if I don't, I'll click back and be like, damn, I should have just left a comment. Let me go do that. Let me make sure I cover my bases. You know, you never know. Maybe it's 50 subscribers, maybe it's 10. But it's just every little thing you can do adds up over time. You just keep trying everything, you know?
And I'll back you on that one because I've done that on when I'm binging with Babish's comments. He did a great video, and I said something like, why doesn't this guy have his own Food Network show? And got a lot of comments back on it, like he makes more money off of YouTube. He can do what he wants more off of YouTube, whatever. And then there was a bunch of likes on it. You know, I had 1,500 likes and all that stuff. I would guarantee you that I got subscribers off of that one.
Oh, I mean,
for sure.
It's basic advertising. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people are aware of it. They see it. There's a conversion there. You know what I mean? It's what it's all about.
So I see Mark pulling out a book. What do you got there, buddy? Are you bored or you got a point?
So
are you like me after I finished cooking last night, or?
So this book right here, it's Daryl Eves. He doesn't recommend this outwardly, but he will. This is what he tells his clients to read. before he does consulting. He makes them read this book before he consults them. And this is just an insane book on branding and marketing and why some brands are huge and why some aren't. And one of the 7 things that you do, which is really just genius, is the non-believers, the pagans, the people that don't like you. Here it is right here. And you need one of my videos on Facebook, I don't know if anybody got to see it, but one of the videos on Facebook, the smoked watermelon, blew up. Got millions of views.
Beautiful.
The reason why the smoked watermelon, the reason why that video got so many views was because of the hate. It wasn't because it's a vegan thing or it's this cool thing. It was because of the thousands of comments of people, you can't mess with meat. That's not meat. That's not a ham. This guy's and I loved it because all of those comments and people were starting arguments with each other, and I know this sounds terrible, but you need people that don't believe in you to have a group that does believe in you. If everybody believes in you, then, well, you're just not going to get it. You're going to have a very small little niche of people that
right.
But you have to have that hate and those comments, like writing that kind of stuff, and that's what drives people to be passionate is writing stuff or saying stuff, posting things on social media. That's going to get you attention, playing the safe field of everybody's going to love me. So that's now my approach on Facebook is ever since that watermelon video went up, I've posted, how to make bacon out of mushrooms, how to make bacon out of eggplants, just to piss the same people off. And it's worked,
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're an hour and a half. Everybody's still going strong. No one needs to go anywhere. We all good?
Good.
All right, cool. All right, so I think we got some good. What's up, brother?
One thing to Mark's point, as a barbecue guy, that watermelon was freaking extraordinary, man. that thing was money. I loved it.
Thanks,
I loved it. I'm not a watermelon guy. I don't eat a lot of watermelon, but that thing was so damn cool. And the mushroom bacon was awesome.
Thanks.
I was hoping the eggplant bacon was going to turn out as good because my wife tells me I like all the weird vegetables. I love eggplant. So I was like watching that one, just hoping it was going to work. And then you're like, it's not as good as the mushroom, but I'm all right with that. Mushrooms too.
I got another one.
So I just weigh in on that. Those, other than the Fruit Loops or the Fruity Pebbles today that I watch, those are my favorite 3 videos of yours.
That's awesome.
They really are.
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
That's awesome. I actually I want to try that cheesy potato, the alouette.
Aligo. I'll tell you, that is.
Was it tasty though? Was it delicious?
Oh, so good.
That's all that matters right there.
It's double the weight of cheese of the potato. If you have a pound of potatoes, it's 2 pounds of cheese. I mean, and it's so rich. You don't eat much of it, but it's just so good.
That's awesome, man.
It's like a ridiculous idea when you think about how you just explained it.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's not like a lot of people are like, so what? You made cheesy potatoes. But it's like, no, you can't just throw that amount of cheese into the potatoes and expect it to work together. You're going to end up with like an oily, weird, chunky mess. Right. You have to go through that process to make that silky. I'm going on a roll. It's so good.
Well, what's funny is, we all watch a lot of videos. We watch each other's videos or whatever. And, I used to make mashed potatoes, right? I do Thanksgiving too. It's one of my favorite holidays, right? So I used to try to make the mashed potatoes more than what they are. Like let's add bacon, let's add chives, let's add smoked Gouda. I was adding too much shit to it, right? Basically. So I watched Steve, your mashed potatoes, and how you were melting butter into it, and it was just butter, salt, and pepper. You're good to go, right? So I did a variation for Thanksgiving, and I just put a shit ton of butter, and that's an actual metric measurement.
Absolutely.
Shit ton.
It is. I use that measurement also.
Yeah, and butter and like a bunch of cream and just salt and pepper, and it was the best mashed potatoes I ever made because I dumbed it down and just made something it was going to be good to go. But it reminded me of Mark's heart attack mashed potatoes too, because it was just putting so much more than just in it.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, how do those restaurants get those mashed potatoes to taste so good? It's just like they just add more butter than we do at home.
Yeah,
it's
more butter and more salt.
More butter and more salt. Yeah. Well, I use salted butter. I don't. There's no shame in my game with that, man. I use salted butter and and salt and pepper, and it was spectacular. So, Robert from Soul Food Cooking said he's taking notes like a college lecture. Well, hey, man, if someone's getting something out of this,
good, that's what this is for. Like,
that's what we wanted. We did this little roundtable thing on Thanksgiving because we didn't have a guest because it was Thanksgiving, and I thought it was a great idea. And I had talked to Steve on the side, and he's like, I want to find an outlet of growing other people or helping other people or throwing ideas out there, or giving people tips and tricks. So I was like, hey, let me host one time and let's get some, we got Mark in here, and Kent even threw in his barbecue comment with the watermelon that he broke the internet tonight. So that was cool. So
the day I break the internet is the day you three retire. I'll tell you that.
So that's what this whole thing was about, or is about, because we're still going. But I just had to throw it out there. It's like we want to help people grow. I want to grow. I want to. I don't know if I want to do this full time. Because I actually like my gig. I like my job. I like the people I work with. But I want to do this, and I want to do it well. And I don't feel like I do it the best. I don't feel like I do it well at all, actually. I feel like I have tons of things to improve on. But I'm trying. I'm watching guys like this. I try to do better. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right? So, Ken, you throw your finger out. What's up, dude?
Yeah, well, if I had as easy a gig as you were, I wouldn't give it up either.
Yeah, exactly. I go to work, for 40 hours a week and watch YouTube. No, I'm kidding. I hope my boss isn't watching. My boss is a subscriber, loves cooking videos. I got to turn on to you guys. Steve, he loves you. Right? My boss is a big YouTuber. He loves it. So
I saw Steve's influence on somebody this past week.
Who's that?
When you see another 6'5" guy and he's crouched down like behind his countertop, he's been watching Steve's video.
Yeah, well, he's obviously talking about Josh and Babe, but you got to understand too that Babe is 5'2" and he's 6'5" or whatever. So there has to be a little leveling. She's on a step stool, he's ducking. So.
Right, but she wasn't in the video when he made the vegan call.
So that he's just straight up biting Steve.
He's down here like this, like I am now. And you got to remember, Mrs. Dutch is only 5'2" also, and I'm 6'5".
Texas Barbecue Cooking says, so I can cook almost every day while working.
Yes, working is the key word there.
I work very hard for my money. Let's see here.
No, but Mrs. CJ covers your ass at work. I know that.
Well, we're actually both managers at my company, and we're in different departments. So she works very hard, and my department is very awesome, and they work very well themselves, and I don't have to do much. I'm just the eye candy of the office, I guess. So.
Wow.
Oh, shut up, Kent. So
I'm the eye candy of the hot seat.
Yeah, damn right you are.
Right.
Who the hell watches Josh's Babe in the house?
Hence the best.
All right, can I ask these guys a couple questions? Because I got a list here.
Oh, sure.
All right. This is for both of you, and it's from our scorekeeper, Mr. Keith Bettag. If each of you, just for round numbers, say you both have 10,000 subs, How many of them subs do you think could make YouTube a full-time job?
Maybe I'm not following. Like, so,
Okay.
like, how many subs do you need to start full time?
That might be a better way of putting it. I can't speak for Keith. That's what he wrote down. But you know, what do you get? Okay, let's put it this way. What do you guys think is a good baseline if somebody wanted to do YouTube full time? How many subs are needed?
Well, let me. So you can start. You could start right away. But I mean, so to get into, so you're not going to make a lot of money from monetization, you know, until the channel's grown. You can start talking to brands right off the bat. I mean, when I was doing my recipe videos, I was emailing brands. I wasn't getting brand deals, but I was emailing them and talking to them. You know, and let me say this, and I don't want anybody to get upset at me. Okay. But I am pretty strong against taking free product, because you have to know your worth, and you have to know everybody else's worth too. You know, it's just like when you're trying to sell the house and the guy next door doesn't keep his yard up, you know, your value goes down. Mm-hmm. Everybody takes free product when they take the knife, or they take the, you know, whatever they're offering, you know, the can openers, everybody offers the can openers. When they take that free stuff, it devalues a lot. And I know in the beginning, like, that's a lot of fun to get free stuff, but that was one of my and I actually had a few brands that got upset at me because I was just like, no, it's not for free. I'm working hard at this. You know, I am putting money into the production. I'm putting time into the production. So I need to get paid for the production. And my content has more value than you just giving me this free thing. So, you know, start right away. You know, it's up to
Mark. Before you start your next thought off of that, I want to talk about that. That's on my list. I am excited to get free stuff, right? So this is what I'm saying. You're opening. I guess what I'm trying to say is you're opening my eyes to a different way of doing things, right? So I've gotten more barbecue thermometers that I know what to do with. I have a knife coming on. I have more knives than I know what to do with.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding Meathead's knife, because he's a friend. We did it. It's been great. I've actually got some affiliate money off of it. That's been worth it to me. But just the free shit that I've gotten, maybe I'm doing it wrong, you know. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because I actually have a knife coming where I've agreed to do a review on it, and they're giving me an affiliate link with it, so that, you know, might be worse.
No, that's there. You know, I mean, if you think that you'll earn enough from the affiliate link to cover what you believe your value is, then take it. And the affiliate link that's still earning money. That's still getting something in from it besides them just giving you a piece of product. But you know, I will say, and everybody does it for different reasons. If you're doing it for a business, as a business, don't take the free product. And I don't want anybody to get upset at me for the people that have taken free product, because everybody has different reasons to do this. But I just think about it. You know, if you've already gotten a knife, don't take any more knives. You know, like if you're just doing it just for the product, you know. But if you're doing it to earn money, you can earn money off of just a few hundred views. It's worth something to those brands. I mean, just the other day, I sent out a proposal to a brand, and I sent them the offer, and they cut my offer like 3/4 below what I sent them. You know, it was, here's this number, and they said, no, how about this? And I was just, I kind of laughed at it. What's that?
Still more than you would have made without that sponsorship.
What was that, Steve?
Still more than you would have made without the sponsorship.
Still more than what I made, but I went back at him and I said, no, I'm not going to do this unless you give me at least this. I didn't go all the way, but I took it back to almost where I was. I sent this, they offered me this, and I responded with this. And they said, yeah, they have this money in their budget. If you're getting a few hundred views, you're worth at least a quarter per view. So if you think about it, you should be able to send out, if you're getting 500 views a video or 400 views a video, you should be able to send out a thing that's worth $100 or $50 and make that $50. And if you do that 4 times a month, you made $100 off of that. And if you're only getting 100 some views a video, you're maybe getting less than that in monetization. So you're earning 4 times from doing a few brands.
Hey, real quick, Dan from Smoky Goodness said, "Attention, internet, no more grill brush offers. We're not interested." I was one of the ones that got that too. I know Daddy Dutch did too. Like, I've gotten an offer to review a shower bench, like a bamboo shower bench. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with that?
These companies,
I think that's profiling, CJ.
That's all right.
yeah, these companies, they know because their product costs them a quarter. So they know that they can just hit as many creators as they can, and how many of them are going to just talk about my thing for free, and they'll sell 1 per creator that they send it to, so, or sell 2 of them. So as long as they sell those 2 per creator, then they've made their money back. So it's,
to your point, Mark, on that with sending that out, there's a barbecue thermometer, wireless barbecue thermometer that came out that was flooding the market, or trying to flood the market, I should say.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And I tell you what, I put that thing through every test there was, because a lot of through the chats, a lot of the stuff I'd heard from it, they weren't consistent. And I put it through ice water, boiling water, everything. And me being a refrigeration guy for a full-time job, I know about graded sensors and how they work.
Yeah.
And I messaged this person that back and forth, and she's like, "What's a graded sensor?" And I was like,
"Yeah, they don't know."
You know.
I
tell you what, a couple guys that CJ and I are pretty close with have gotten them, and they had to get new leads because their ratings were erratic.
Yeah.
And mine were within a degree or 2.
You know what's funny is I actually got that thermometer and I was supposed to do a review for it or whatever, and I haven't. It's still in the box collecting dust because I got another free thermometer that's like a Chinese knockoff of ThermoPro, and it's been working perfectly for me. And I'm like, I don't want to get a new one out,
Yeah.
Does it start with an I?
I have no idea. It looks like a ThermoPro just without the ThermoPro lighting on it or writing, whatever.
So I'm seeing in the comments, like, people are saying, like, they don't put it on their channel unless they use it and all that stuff. Like, that's for sure. If you get a product for free, or if they're paying for it, if you don't like it, do not post that review. Send the product back. Tell the company you're not doing it. Don't do it. Don't fake it. That razor head shaven thing that I did, I love that thing. I'm still using the same razor as I did when I shot that video. I love that razor thing. I would sell the hell out.
Mark, you missed a spot about right here.
But, so it's, yeah, you can take free product. I know I said don't take free product, but it's.
Here's the thing with free product.
Go ahead, Steve. Sorry, I've been.
No. For me, I'm very picky about what free product I get. I'm not opposed to getting it. Like, just recently, I reached out to a company called Grow Book, and they're like they ship these little like book. When they come shipped, they look like a book closed, but they open up into these microgreen grow kits. And I was just like, I imagined seeing it in the back of my set, and I was like, I want one. And I want to sort of build a relationship with this company. So I reached out on Instagram. Instagram direct message is way better than any email you could send to a brand.
Yeah.
You can start literally having a chilled out conversation with a brand manager, whoever's managing this guy's social media. Be like, hey, so could you hook me up with the name of your brand manager, whoever manages brands and sponsorships? And then you just build this lead into the company. And so I was just like, I told them flat out, I was like, I see your product behind my in my set. Like I'm really interested in getting my hands on one. They're like, could we send you a couple boxes? Yeah. So they're gonna send me a couple boxes. I'm gonna see what it's like. I'm gonna probably just place it in my video, and then go back to them and be like, so I like it. Like, how can we create more of a formal relationship? And then be like, look, I may have made a video with you with the thing in it. Maybe I talked about it, and that's my goodwill towards you.
Yeah.
Now it's even. Now we're even, and we're both businesses. So how do we go forward?
So that is building a relationship with a brand, I think is definitely key. And I guess when I'm talking about free product, I'm talking about mainly, and I think a lot of the guys in the chat here know what I'm saying, is the emails that you get berated with about, here's the thermometer, here's the knife, here's the, it's all of the product that it's all one thing, and 100 companies put different name brands on it. Doing what you're doing, reaching out to a company, Monica and I right now need a new couch. And I doubt right now with the size of my channel I'm going to get one, but I'm still trying. If a company gives me a free couch, I'm going to do a video about it because it's a free couch. It's the value of the product is worth it to me.
Yeah.
So, but when I say don't do free product, I'm specifically talking about the Chinese stuff that gets set, that they're the knockoff crap that gets sent in your email where they say, we'll send you this thing to do this review, and I ignore, spam, delete, throw away, because you can actually work with real brands that will either pay you or give you enough product that's worth it to do it.
I generally don't do deals with affiliate links unless it's paid as well, because
I've never done one, but I do think depending on your size, I don't know.
There's actually like the only ones that work are like softwares, right? Because they pay differently than like the affiliate link of like 10% off of a $30 ThermaPen. You know what I mean? Like it's a different thing, but it's like, if I'm going to make a video and you're expecting me to just make money off of the sale, I don't view that, like, unless you have millions, unless you know the odds and the percentage game of the millions and millions of views you're going to get, it's generally, I don't think, going to work out in your favor.
It's not going to be much.
I always opt for, I'm looking right now to fund my show. So like, can we come up with a different sort of payment arrangement and just try and work? It's really just throwing darts on. Like, I'm just at the process where brands are starting to talk to me, and I'm just kind of crafting my own way of doing it, my own pricing structure. You got to make sure you got a nice media kit put together so that you're ready for when brands talk to you. And then it's just sort of like you find your own way of doing it. Like, I think I've never even talked to Mark about how he does it, but I'm sure our approaches are just sort of our own kind of unique way of doing it.
Yeah, you have to be, when you talk to brands, when I first started doing it, I was sending out these just mass copy and like, hi, I'm really interested in your product and I would like to do a video about it. And that never worked. I would send out 100 and get 2 responses, but once I started just being personal, I do honestly like what you're selling, and describe what I want to do with their brand and how I think it would be a good fit for my show and how I believe my audience would like their brand. That's when I started getting a pretty high response rate. I say for every 5 campaigns that I push out, for about every 5 that I reach out for, I get 2 or 3 that accept my offer. So be personal. That's it. Just reach out to these brands, be personal. Steve's dead on as far as like Instagram messaging, Twitter, those things, like what I did with Just, that was all through Twitter. That was just a tweet that I sent to the brand's manager on Twitter and said, I would love to talk about Just Egg. A few of them have been through LinkedIn, where you just search for the brand that you like. If there's, like Fireball whiskey or something, search for the brand on LinkedIn and you can see all the employees. And a lot of times you'll see marketing manager or social media manager, friend that person, and
great idea right there.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn and I never thought about using it for something like this.
Make sure your LinkedIn, I don't have a lot of information. I have like my Sauce Stache page on there, but besides that, there's not a whole lot of information about Sauce Stache. but you can still reach out to those brand managers and still contact them if they connect with you. So that helps. Kent Walker's with Monica. He's in the back with SJP.
I thought I heard a dog bark earlier, so I figured it was Walker. All right. Well, we're at 2 hours. We still have a lot of bullet points on here. I'm trying to see what you guys want to do. Do you want to keep rolling? You want to just take a few more questions from Kent and circle back in another month and see what we can come up with? What do you guys think?
I think it'd be cool to do this about once a month or so. I mean, we can get more new people in.
Like that.
I mean, you know, I'm the little fish here in the big pond, obviously. I'm the biggest, fattest guy in here, but I'm the little fish in the big pond.
That's not what this is about.
No,
but you know, for my perspective, I think this is great listening to you guys. And like we were talking before we went on air, is I'm sitting here to learn as much as anything else. So I appreciate greatly what you guys are doing and your input on this. You know, I talk to CJ, 3-4 times a week, and not even, you know, on the hot seat or anything. So to have you guys come on here and give us your input, to be able to help little channels like my size, you know, it's awesome. I appreciate it very much. I want to thank you guys for your time.
Well, dude, this is the thing, is like people have all helped us at some point, whether it was before we started YouTube or after we started YouTube, or other YouTubers helping other YouTubers, and like everybody needs help. I need help. Mark needs help. CJ, everybody needs help. And so like when somebody who is farther down the road than I am offers their help to me, I feel grateful, and I feel like I want to pay it forward to people who either are farther along than me, who have something to learn from what I do, or who are smaller than me. And like the thing is, like, I learn from people who are smaller than me. I learn from people who are larger than me. There's no, anybody who thinks this is about like an ego or anything, they're missing the whole point of what this community is all about. This is all about supporting each other, and that's the whole reason I fell in love with YouTube, is that there's no competition. I don't view Mark or CJ, or we're not vying for your view over one another. We're vying for your view collectively as a group. You know, like,
I think a great point to that, Steve, is lately, the last about 3-4 months, we've had a lot of collaborations. And one of the biggest ones recently was the chili collab. I mean, we had a bunch of different channels in on that, all using the same hashtag. So if you clicked on that hashtag, you get to see everybody that's in that collaboration. And, you know, to a point, yes, you are competing for views, but it's also a community helping everybody grow.
The thing is, like, you can view my video and still view. You can still view your video and my video as well. That's the thing, is like it's not a this or that. It could be a both or an all kind of thing.
I agree.
It makes the dynamic very different, and I just don't think it's the right approach for anybody to kind of think to close themselves off. Right? You have to be open and have the right mindset about this. This is about community, and it's like that was the biggest thing that YouTube taught me. I thought YouTube, when I started, was a video storage platform. I had no idea the type of community that was, and was so thrilled to find out that there was these huge groups of people who, there was niches, and they built communities around their channels, and these people kind of, it's just this good vibe. And like, I think that's what this is all about, is sharing ideas, learning from one another. When the tide rises, we all float. So let's all succeed together.
Yeah. And, you know, I do want to say something too. People can talk about being a smaller channel or a bigger channel or all that. It honestly doesn't matter, because you work with all channels, you know, and maybe it is nice to hear things from perspectives of somebody that has gone through different paths. But I will say, of quite a few of the people in my class when I started 2 years ago, there's a few people that I was, in that group with, friends with, that have just blown past Sauce Stache in subscribers and views. You don't know when you're talking to somebody or doing a collab with them or helping them out with a video, whether in the next video that they put out could be huge. You honestly don't know. That's the thing. That's why earlier I compared it to pulling a slot machine, like just winning a gambling, because it's, you could be a creator right now with 400 subscribers, and next month you can have 1 million. You can do your best practices to make the money with what you have. But as far as channel size and stuff, that changes so rapidly.
Well,
it's
just use Babish as a example. Sorry. He was 100,000, then 1 million, and then 3 million in a really short period of time, relatively speaking.
So when I had probably a few hundred subscribers, right when I switched over to Lunch Break, Babish and I would chat on Reddit because he only had 10,000 subscribers. He was my size,
right.
when I was here, and then out of nowhere that thing happened. Reddit loved him, and he exploded. So you just and another guy that always comments on a lot of my videos. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but Internet Shaquille. He wasn't pulling a lot of views. He wasn't like. And I don't even know how serious he was taking it, but just a few weeks ago, he posted a video about Brussels sprouts and I'm talking, this guy would usually get about 100 to 150 views a video, but he posted this Brussels sprout video that got like 300,000 or 400,000 views in a few days. And it was because it had a specific amount of watch time. People happened to be looking for it at that moment. It was just the right keys.
The stars aligned.
Everything fell into place. Now, I'm not saying that don't take best practices and try to grow your channel, because grow your channel, but you don't know when that hit is going to happen. It's just like being in a band. Sometimes you have a one-hit wonder, and that could build a lot of a business and keep you going for a long time. Or you could be a band that develops a catalog of an album throughout the years. You kind of want to try both.
Great analogy there, Mark.
Yeah, thanks.
Back to the community thing we were talking about here just a second ago. Like I said, I got CJ's number on here. I can call him anytime. He answers the phone. If not, he calls me back. If anybody wants his number for $100, you can have it. But Mark, you and I have talked. I found you through Chris Nickel, Hobo.
Yeah.
I mod on your channel now.
Yeah.
And, the cool thing about YouTube is, like CJ, he's a great friend, but I've never met him. I haven't met you either, but you've agreed to meet me when I come to Florida in May.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm excited.
I think it's just cool. And Chris, Meathead, who's in your area, he said, yeah, look me up when you're down here.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. The community aspect of this is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hear that we all haven't really met each other. Some of us have, I'm sure, but like for the most part, none of us do. But like when I find myself in your neck of the woods, like we'll probably share a meal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's something special about that, especially in food. It's not just like we're just creators on YouTube. We're also around food. So like it means a little bit something more to us. But like there's something so special about that like instantly within a year, like I have all these friends now around the world, actually, not even around the country. It's just like these people in England and Canada, and like it's just like they're all very supportive. Like I try very hard for people to realize that like I'm just a guy. Like don't blow me up into somebody that I'm not. Like I'm always just gonna be one of you guys. I'm just cooking behind a camera. Like we're just talking, we're just hanging out, and like I'm always gonna try and talk with you. Like I just want to make it real sort of relaxed, and it's just all about love and sharing ideas and supporting one another.
I agree. And Keith put it about as simply as you could right now. He said, people like food. And it's true. I mean, I've said it 100 times on my channel. I started this out as helping. I wanted to help my son, my oldest son, who is going to become a filmmaker, producer, and editing, whatever. And I was hoping that I could help him build a little portfolio before he applied for colleges, right? But it became fun, and it became a community, and met great people, and it became like, all right, well, my son's a senior in high school, doesn't want to help my son or help his old dad out, but I had to figure out how to do it, and I wanted to be successful, and I'm driven and competitive, and it just like I hate failing at anything, so I want to be successful in this, and success could be measured in 1,000 different ways, but I think I've gotten success out of this by meeting great people, having a platform to chat like this, and having people in the chat talk back, right? And I've, Josh from Josh and Babe was over here last night helping me with the competition. Exactly. John, Pit Life Barbecue, food brings people together, and it really, really has. When I go to New York, when it's planned out, I plan on hooking up with Steve. If I go to Florida and take the kids to Disney World, I'm calling Mark. We were talking about taking a Texas trip. That's it. I'm going to see everybody in Texas I can. So it's someone said I'm not competitive. I'm a effing savage. I want
a true statement.
It's true. I want to win. I knew
I have the same thing in me.
Yeah, what I did last night on that show, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I had it planned out to a T. I knew that I wanted the camera a certain way. I knew I was going to have my umbrella lights up. I knew that I wanted to have the skillet in the right spot, and I had the big cutting board, and I knew I was going to chop a certain amount of things, and I knew that I was going to use this ribeye this way. I had it frozen. I knew exactly how I was going to cut it. I would use the right seasoning. I knew I was going to talk a little smack to the camera. I knew I was going to dance a little bit and have some fun. I knew what I was going to say when he put it on me to promote my channel. I want to be better. I want to be good. I want to beat the guy next to me. And what's funny is if Josh and Babe are winning or on it next week against some other cat, and if I go against Josh and Babe, because I think that's how the brackets align, I will do whatever I can to beat his ass because I want to win, even though he's a friend. The initial plan for the first episode of that show was to have me and Kent go against each other because, the hot seat connection, and it would have been fun. Unfortunately, Kent had a party to go to. But last night worked out well for me for my scheduling. So
I'll see you in the finals. All right.
Yes, sir.
As long as I don't have to cook against Steve or Mark, I'll see you in the finals.
Yeah, I know Steve wants to get in on this. Steve's gonna.
I might be on week 4.
Yeah, so there you go. And, I hope. Grill Talk Ryan said he hopes he gets paired against me. You know what? I hope so too. I think it'd be a good time. And I know.
Like even the fact that this thing exists, like this cooking competition that we can all participate in our homes. It's on the internet.
It's awesome. They've got something. It needs tweaking for sure.
Yeah,
but
really
okay. So here's the example of what I'm talking about in the community. T-Roy Cooks is in the chat. That boy reached out to me and texted me while I was sitting there eating cookies, reading a book or whatever, like encouraging me, So that's the community. Someone I've never met before, but God willing, I'm going to this year. Reached out to me, texted me, and said, dude, you're doing a good job.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes to keep you going.
Roy reach out to you and just give you that little validation that took him a half a second to do, and it made your day and it pushed you forward. Like that means everything. So it's like any bit of that you can give away, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think that is like, you should take that opportunity, is to make somebody's day, to make them feel better, to encourage them. That's very important to me, because like in this last year, I needed that daily, and I had to be the one doing it to myself. And so like, whenever, you know, like Justin from Baby Back Maniac or Mike from Everyday Barbecue would call me, or we would just have a chat, and like, they would just encourage me and tell me like, you're doing great. Like, and that makes all of the difference. It lights a fire under your ass for the next few months. And I think like, as much as like, for anybody listening, if you feel like you're in a place to encourage another person, or, you know, like, go ahead and do it. Or if you need encouragement, seek it out from somebody, but like, just like, be supportive and cultivate this kind of thing that we're all working on.
Right. I completely agree. You know, when Mark, I remember when Mark got challenged by Dame Drops, I started following Mark because of Dame Drops, and it was interesting to me that I really had never watched Dame Drops. I just caught a video of something, so you know, the rabbit hole that YouTube can be, and I ended up on Mark's channel. I'm like, this guy's freaking awesome. and he's taking on, he's gonna do 5 videos a week. What the hell is this guy problem? I have to watch to see if this guy can do it, because I knew at that particular moment, because it was almost a year ago or whatever, that I couldn't even get one video done. It was freaking me out. And I was watching this cat try to do 5 a week. And he was like, today we're going to boil an egg. Tomorrow we're going to grate cheese. I have to get 5 videos out this week, you know?
Oh, it was insane.
I felt for you so bad, dude.
You know, CJ, you talking about, you know, T-Roy texting you the other night and stuff.
Yeah.
And after your cook against James last night, we were actually having a chat. I was talking with guys like Chef Johnny and stuff, you know, on our hangouts that we do.
Right.
And there's one thing I noticed I thought was really cool about guys like Mark, Steve, T-Roy, Justin, Greg at Ballistic, Mike at Everyday, you know, bigger channels, that 95% of the time when I comment on their videos, any of them guys, they reply back. And to have that many subs, especially like T-Roy, you know, I mean, what's he got, like 45 million or something? I don't know.
He's got 150 now or something.
But for him to be able to reply back, you know, is awesome. It's so cool on his behalf to know that, you know, Troy's commenting back and stuff, you know, especially really huge guys like him and Greg.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
Because I know people.
You know, real quick. Talking about T-Roy responding. A while back when I was brand new, you know, still only had, I don't know, 100, 150, whatever, I asked him a question on one of his Thursday chats, and he answered that shit. I called Melise into my office from the other office. I'm like, this dude just shouted me out. Yeah, my question. What's up? Yeah. I'm like, I made it, you know, but he took the time to do it. And it was such a good feeling. So I feel the same way as I'm growing. I still want to answer all the questions and not questions, comments. And hopefully I can say something nice back to someone else or make someone else's day or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, man, like reach out to any channel, any size. If you like the channel, if they're smaller than you, reach out to them. If you like the channel and they're bigger than you, reach out to them. Steve and I were talking about it the other day. You know, I've been lucky enough to make contact with a lot of these huge YouTubers, and I've started conversations with all of them. There's no collabs or anything.
Real quick though, if you're talking to Babish, get him on the hot seat. I reached out to him too.
And, he's honestly, you know, so
he shouted me out on his channel one time. I gave him a super chat, and I
saw that actually.
Yeah, and so I got a bunch of subscribers from it. But he said, you know, I have a management company, but email me, and if we can get it going, we'll get it going. I'm like, shit. it wasn't that hard for me to type out a paragraph on an email, and maybe someday, you know, it'll make it happen. So again, reach out to the top guys.
You know, just there's a difference with getting them on your show, because you got to think, like, for all of these guys, it's all of their businesses, you know?
Right.
So, but there is a difference with starting a conversation with somebody versus being a partner in business, and collabing with somebody in a video is the same as being a partner in business. So, but you can learn from a lot of these guys and what they do just by talking to them and getting input. You know, I mean, it's not hard. Most of these, everybody that's doing this is human. You know, so if you have 1 million subscribers or 50 million subscribers or 100 million subscribers, reach out to them. The guys that don't respond, some of them I know when they were smaller and now they don't. You know, I'm not gonna say any names, but it's like, that's crazy to me, because I know some of the guys, I know some of these channels that are huge that I have lunch with these guys, you know, and it's like, because they're just regular people, you know. And if you approach them as a regular person and become friends with them, how you'd become friends with anybody in real life, then you'll make a connection, you know, and have that connection, which is valuable in a lot of different things, you know.
Well, I'm completely with you on that, and there's been a ton of comments go by as we were talking about that, and it was difficult to keep up, but I think a lot of people agree with what we're saying here. I think we're coming up to a point where I think we should cut this off a little bit, just because it's getting a bit late. I know it's late for East Coasters. We're gonna see the East Coast drop off pretty soon. But I do think I want to keep this going and find some way to keep the chats going as much as we can.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. This is great.
I don't know what the comments thought about it, but
I do want to say, like, because there was one piece of advice that I got from another channel, and then I'm going to end it, you know, and you know, maybe Steve could have his closing too. Would be cool, and Kent and CJ, you know. But my closing, honestly, my thing that I think really helped me is, you cannot be afraid to test. If you're doing the same video and your view line is just doing this, you know, try something new out. Try a new way to shoot. Try a new way to film, you know, like watch what other people are doing and take that a little bit. Try to cut off your intro or cut off your ending. Just try something new. If it's your approach to making a video, your approach to making a thumbnail, your approach to making a title, try something new and see what happens. And if you notice a little bit of a difference, just a little bit of a difference, try that same thing the next time, but try to improve it and see if you get a better difference. And if you don't, then scrap it, go back to the way you were doing it, and then try something new again. Because when you're at 10,000 subscribers, or you're at 1,000, or you're at 100, you can keep making the same videos and you can grow like this, and you'll grow and you'll do great over time and it will be good. But one video that could be completely different from, you know, what you're already doing could gain you 100,000 subscribers overnight, just like Babish, you know, or any of the other people that have just skyrocketed. So my Fruity Pebbles video is completely different than any video that I've done. It's what I released today. I really wanted to try something new, you know. So
and you know, you're right. Like, I still keep waiting for that moment. That morning I wake up and be like, why do I have 100,000 emails saying I got all these subscribers? I'm waiting for that day when I wake up. And like,
that's literally every day.
Yeah.
My phone goes off like a slot machine all night.
Yeah. So that's the thing, you know. So it's, you know, keep making your videos, but every now and then put out something a little different and see what happens. You know?
I actually tried that for the new year too. I tried a couple different formats just to see how things would work. And I think I like a little bit of one and I like a little bit of the other. So I'm going to try a little different way of doing things, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's like
about improving.
The 1 hour video I made. I mean, that was my first video out of the gate in the new year. It was a 1 hour video that wasn't a recipe. So I was just like giving people exactly what they what they weren't expecting from me, but it showed a different side of me. It showed people who sort of wanted to do what we do, gave them a look into like the way that I do it, and I hope it encouraged people. So like I took a risk. It felt very uncomfortable to do, and I didn't think it would be well received, but it was. And now I feel better about like branching out a little bit and trying new things, and just think of your channel as your own little like research lab. Like just figure out cool stuff to do and like just play around and have fun with it. And that's just kind of like the way that I'm approaching with it, but still keeping it serious and like, and then approaching it with a business mindset, and just having that kind of fun creative aspect with the business aspect come together, and hopefully over time make something that, you know, can support me and my family.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we had a whole kind of segment talked about that, you know, on how to prepare for a big break or going viral or having a media kit ready to go and all that stuff. So I think we should save that for another chat, and I hope we can all get together in the same crew and maybe even bring, you know, see if T-Roy wants to come on or Soul Food Cookie and Robert. Robert does a lot of good stuff on his channel, has a fair amount of subscribers and knows a thing or two too. So I would love to get, you know, a couple other people's perspectives to call in and time block a little bit more.
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't know about you guys, but it felt just like cathartic to just have a natural conversation about the stuff that we deal with every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Sort of outside of a format in any way. It was very loose, and it felt kind of good to kind of just talk about it.
Yeah, I like having just a couple bullet points to feed off of a little bit and just letting people run with it. And I think this is a good thing. I know we had I had a bad comment at the beginning that kind of threw me off a bit, that it kind of touched the nerve. But this for me is all about supporting the community, growing the community, helping people out, give tips and tricks. And what am I doing, CJ? T-Roy, don't worry about it. We'll tell you when you're on. Okay, you'll be good. Just trust us. Troy, just trust us. We got your back, brother.
Yeah, Troy, it's a need to know basis. When we feel you need to know, we'll let you know.
I'll send you a link. You hop on, and then we'll go from there. All right. So, I think we got something here. I'd love to keep doing it and give topics and grow it. I don't want to go off air without bringing this up a little bit of hope, a little bit of success that our boy Steve is going to be going through pretty soon, based on leveraging social media. And Steve is in talks, if you'd say, with Good Morning America. So we might be seeing our boy in the big bright lights of New York City. So, yeah. Steve, you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, so like in the beginning of the year, I'd been sort of wanting to approach how like I might be able to promote this show in more of a way that, like, I don't know, somebody who wrote a book or came out with a show on TV might promote it, like do a circuit, just like reach out to news segments. Like maybe I could be a guy who shows up on my local news and does a segment or something, like explore opportunities to get my name out to like a new crowd. So I didn't really reach out to anybody, but one of my followers from New York actually had a friend who was a producer, and we just started talking on social media, and she just pitched me to a producer on Good Day America, and we just sort of they approved it, and like within a day we were just talking about doing a segment. So like that's just something you never know. It's like if you think you shouldn't be on Instagram or you shouldn't be on Facebook, it's like you don't know who's watching your videos. You don't know if there's only like what Mark was saying, you're one video away from hitting it, or you're one person away from seeing it that could provide you an opportunity. It's like, who knows? This could fall through somehow. It could fall through in a day. Who knows? It could not result in anything crazy, or it could be a major stepping stone. But it's like, it's all about just being ready for an opportunity. And like, since I started a year ago when I was like on a mission to do this, like I just was prepared for like an event like this to happen, where if somebody needed me to come on TV or do something serious that would be generally scary to me. Like I wanted to be ready for that moment. And so like when an opportunity like this comes along, I feel good and I feel confident and I feel excited about it. And it's just one of those things that like social media without without Instagram, without putting all the work in that I did, when even though it might seem like things weren't like going the way that I wanted, like it somehow pays off in the end. So I want all these things, like my story, place that I was a year ago to where I am now, which isn't where I want to be, but it's so much further than I was a year ago. It's so much further than I thought I could be when I was thinking of where I would be a year ago. So like I just want people to be hopeful, and I want them to, if they're on the fence about doing it or being serious, just go for it. Just like, you know, we have one life and we often spend it doing stuff that we don't really enjoy. So my whole year has been about just taking back control of my life and setting myself up for a future that I can actually enjoy and be happy about. And I just, you know, I feel good about it. I had a really shitty year last year, and I just kind of feel good that something kind of is, I'm getting a little bit of a bone thrown back to me. And it just goes to show that like hard work will pay off. And, you know, I've been trying to do this for 10 years. I spent 10 years on my own trying to find my path in life. And I finally felt like with this YouTube thing and with the community of people that I've met and these friends that I've developed, like everything about right now feels good to me. Even though like, you know, money is always a concern and all these things, but like things just feel good right now. I'm not as concerned about money as I was, because I feel like things will improve over time and I'm going to get where I want. And I just want that message of like, you know, perseverance and hope to just resonate with people who may have been in my situation or may be in a place where they don't know how to get out of, or a rough kind of hole in their life. We all get in them. We all kind of hit a ditch, but I just want people to know that there's a way to really fight back against that and find yourself in a very different place, you know, a few months after what you're going through kind of subsides.
Right.
You know, that's just my little spiel. I have a lot of emotion in me, which is like something that I don't know really comes through in the show, but like this is just who I am and that's how I feel. I really feel passionate about making sure that if somebody wants to do something or create videos or get out there and get their name out there, that they feel encouraged and confident to do so. And if you know me, like, and you know me in Instagram, like I'm very responsive. If you ever want to chat with me, if you ever want to send me a direct message, tell me what you got going on. I'm happy to spend some time and talk it through with you. And that's just who I am. And I'm going to do that for as long as I physically can.
Right on. I feel the same way about it. I went through a rough patch last year myself. And then to start doing this and then meeting the community and giving me a little drive, giving me a creative outlet. I'm not going so far as to say it saved my life, but it saved me from me, I guess. So
100%.
It's
I don't
really
know where I'd be without it, to be honest.
Yeah, I was not in the best spot myself, so it's really turned. I never thought I'd be doing this and doing these videos and hosting the hot seat and meeting all these great people. So it has been a godsend for me for sure, and I feel that way for real. Mark, you got anything you want to throw out there? I mean, you're the one who's doing it. I mean, you were kind of forced into full-time YouTube, but you're making it work, man. I mean, seriously.
You know, I mean, it's just like what I was saying. Just, you know, trying something new. Don't be afraid to try new things. You know, don't be afraid to switch up your thumbnails. Just always try to make things the best that you can possibly make them, and you'll succeed. And I mean, you'll succeed, you know, for your whatever you want to succeed in. You know, if you want it to be full time, or if you want it to be, you know, just a hobby that you really enjoy, or make a bunch of friends. You know, just do your best that you can possibly do at it. Because I honestly believe that anybody could do anything. Before this, I was in a band. I wrote an app that was on the App Store. You know, you just sit down, figure out how to do it. If it's, I wasn't a video editor or a video anything. I just figured out how to do it, you know. So figure out how to make your videos better than what they are right now, and you'll succeed. You know, that's what I got. This was awesome, by the way. I loved this. Like, I would love to keep doing this and talk. I love that. I love helping people with the knowledge that I do have. You know, I think that's, you know, and learning, you know, just getting more information from everybody else out there. Cause I'm sure there's a million people in the chat that know, well, not a million people in the chat, but there's a bunch of people in the chat that know more than what I know on some other subject along with YouTube. You know, somebody knows something of how to do something better than what I'm doing. And, you know, so that's great, you know.
All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and in this chat, I want to work on keep doing this, if not monthly, bi-monthly. I know we didn't get to everybody's question, and I apologize for that. But when we're flowing through these things, you know, it's tough to interrupt. So, Kent, you got anything to say on the way out, buddy?
Yeah. First of all, Mark, Steve, thank you very much. I do have everybody's questions wrote down. So if and when we do this again, those are going to be at the top of the list. So check back with us when you do it. The insight I got from you guys tonight, really cool. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat does too. It's nice to see different perspectives on what's going on. So thank you guys for your time very much. And thanks, CJ.
All right,
Thanks for being the best moderator in the business.
Yeah, thanks for putting this together, man. I mean, this was, great. I mean, really great.
Well, undoubtedly, T-Roy is tired of seeing me so much, so we might have to stop. All right, guys. You know, again, I appreciate you guys coming on. We will work on doing this more, and I really want to see different topics we can do to help people and help people grow in the whole bit. So, you three, go ahead and stay on. And I know you're totally kidding, T-Roy, for sure. You guys stay on real quick, and then I'll shut it down. Thank you guys for everybody being here. The three of you, everybody in the chat. I think this was a great time. I really want to keep doing it, so we're going to make it happen. Keep that tag. Thanks for keeping score, brother. Sorry we kind of gummed up your question. We'll work on it and ask it again. But y'all have a good week. See you on Thursday on the hot seat. We have Alicia from Best Bites Forever on. She's a channel that's got about over 10,000 subscribers. She's a good person. I love talking with her. So it's gonna be a good time. So everybody tune in on Thursday. And thanks again.
Hey, wait a minute. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Central, Sauce Stache.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sauce Stache live, 6 o'clock Central. So 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock East.
Yep.
All right. That's it, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Guys,